YouTube. What are you guys doing? YouTube. As soon as I started the stream, the app forced closed. What's going on, YouTube? Come on, guys. Get it together. Okay. I'm finally on my way home from the gym. I know it's a very weird title for today's stream. But I think that it's definitely a stream that I really wish would garner more attention, especially for those who struggle to stay true to their training programs. I'm in my 13th year. I'm almost 13 complete years into my coaching career. And, you know, I talk to you guys about this on a fairly regular basis, but you know, there's a misconception that us coaches and trainers have it mentally easier than other people when it comes to honoring the daily, weekly, monthly mesocycle grind of getting gains, whatever the gains are. You know, people will see the top level physiques. They will see the above average level physiques and say, well, you know, maybe they don't love food as much as I do, or maybe they don't have the problems that I do, or maybe they don't work as many hours professionally like I do, or whatever excuse people tend to have why they can't keep to their training. But I'm going to explain to you just a day in the life of an experienced, successful coach like myself having these problems. Same problems as everybody else. Yesterday, I bench pressed for the first time in like almost 2 months. And, you know, for a lot of people, you know, especially for the bros, you're like, bench press day? Who skips bench press day? Well, I was going hard every day for weeks on end to the point where it started to really weigh me down mentally. And I had to negotiate with myself. I had to argue with myself whether I had a good enough excuse to skip training on a given day. And a lot of people would look at my physique or look at my strength level and say, whoa, like, not you, like, you guys have it easy. Nope, not at all. Not at all. We don't have it easy. And, you know, sometimes, well, I could tell you most of the summer I struggled a lot psychologically. Yeah, I've had a lot of physical issues this summer that were unexpected. I found out recently that I was milk of magnesiizing my body by basically overdosing on magnesium, to the point where it was just constant colon soup, messing up my workouts, messing up my appetite. Incidentally, I was getting better sleep, which is kind of weird, but that's one of the benefits of magnesium apparently. But I was overdosing on magnesium for a little while, and it was causing me some problems. And I've been physically fatigued, and that physical fatigue led to some mental fatigue, which created more physical fatigue, and then a feedback loop, which is hard to get out of, takes over. So I rationalize with myself, at least don't skip the leg days. We'll see how I feel on push and pull days, but the non-negotiables are Wednesday and Sunday. So yesterday I got an opportunity to hit the bench press, albeit at a less intense level than usual. Still pretty intense, but it took 20 pounds off the bar because it's been a while. And I did, some sets of 5, a 225, 205, 185, then grabbed the 75-pound dumbbells for sets of 8, and, just to kind of feel it again, and I have a slight ache, which lets me know I didn't lose all my strength. And I have a theory about that. So maybe in a future stream, we'll talk about this theory that I have, because I noticed that I did not deflate as much as I thought that I would muscle-wise, having done almost no upper body training for like the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that. But for the most part, my clothes still fit the same. I just don't have the pumped up, rounded, full muscle belly look that comes from the inflammation of constant training. I just don't have that look, but clothes still fit good. So I have a couple of hypotheses that I want to share with you guys, not for the stream, maybe for Sunday stream, if I can remember. But basically, it's along the lines of, certain styles of training. If you adopt that as a baseline, you'll pay a lesser catabolic penalty. If you keep your training to a certain level. But I'll talk about that later, because I want to see how well I bounce back from all of these months of not really doing a lot of upper body training. But yeah, I lost 13 pounds in, I want to say 8 weeks, which is really bad for me. I was living at about 204 and feeling very comfortable. And I think I was probably as low as probably 188. But, some of that was some of the gastric illness that I have suffered through this summer that caused me to lose more weight than I really wanted to. Lots of dehydration problems and all of that. But anyway, doesn't look like I'm going to make this light. So, it turns out that when I got up today, I really, really did not want to train today, which is bad because, yeah, I got a good bench press in yesterday, but I really had this, it's almost like the laziness is creeping up to the point where if I don't address this issue right here and now, I could really end up, waking up one day and I hadn't trained at all in 2 months. And I can feel that I'm heading in the wrong direction psychologically with my training. So, I knew that my window for training today was actually starting to close a little bit. And so I went and I took a nap for about an hour. And when I went to take that nap, and I was just like, damn, I need a little bit more sleep. I went and I set it for another half an hour, but then like the tension started to like really build up psychologically, where I felt like I was getting to a point where I needed to, something would have been missing if I would have skipped out on training today. And just I don't know where it came from, but I really went from not wanting to train at all to getting to a place where I was able to clear away all of the excuses. I was able to clear away all the excuses for why it would have been okay for me not to train. And I found that little window and I started negotiating with myself. It was like a self-argument. Why am I looking to skip out of training today? Why? And then I thought, I got some plans that I want to implement for the rest of the week. If I got in today and then did some cool shit on, maybe like a horizontal pull of some kind on Thursday, then the special day I can do this other type of training that my body will be ready for if I just buckle down and get done what needed to get done today. And then I started finding all of the benefits of why it would be in my favor to carve out the work that needed to get done today. And once I started to see, okay, there's all these other benefits if I just lock it down and actually do the work today, then it became easier to win the argument for why I should train today, instead of looking for all the reasons why it was okay for me not to train today. And it is definitely something that I understand that many people, I can't be the only one that goes through this. And when I talk to guys at the gym who say, oh yeah, I haven't been in the gym in 2 weeks, I haven't been in the gym in 3 weeks, oh, I'm trying to get back to it, I imagine that they are having a very similar inner argument with themselves, just like I had today. And today was like one of the days I came closest to skipping out on leg day. And I've been skipping out so much on the upper body stuff, but I have stayed true to the lower body stuff, even during the weeks I was doing active rest. For lower body, I would still, get up and go, hit that, even though it was a light leg day, I still hit the leg day. So it was still very soothing psychologically, where I didn't feel like there was something that needed to be done that was left undone. Today, once I kind of got that fire, my confidence grew, actually. I thought my stomach would cooperate. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But it did not deter me from getting done what I wanted to get done on my terms, for the most part. And I'm very, very fortunate to have made the decision that I made today, because I do know that if I would have skipped out on training today, I would, in the long run, I would have been very unhappy with myself. And I think that a lot of you know what that feels like, to want to achieve things in life and, a lifetime of success was right around the corner, but we didn't do that one last thing that we needed to do to realize that success. And I think that it is something that a lot of us struggle with. And if there's anything that I can do to level with you guys and say, hey, I get the same exact feeling as you do, I want to make sure that every single time I struggle with wanting to get in the gym, that I talk to you about it. And today was definitely one of those days, more so than other days. So I want to let you guys know that, you know, sometimes you're going to lose that inner argument with yourself. Sometimes you're going to win that argument with yourself. The ones that you win, where you go and you get the work done anyway, think about where you would have been if you would have lost that argument with yourself. And would you truly be happy with yourself and what you accomplished if you left work on the table that you were perfectly equipped to have executed on, but you just didn't because you couldn't make the excuses to get the work done? And one of the things that I've noticed about the world around me is that a lot of people make excuses for why they are not successful in this life. The liberals are blaming the conservatives are blaming the liberals. But one of the things that I've noticed is that for the most part, most of the struggles that I'm watching people have are really a product of that one bit of extra work, or that one little bit of work they needed to do to complete the main task that they kind of skipped out on, that they did not do, that led to the cost being higher overall. That led to them experiencing less success in their lives, their relationships, their professional standing at work, and their training in the gym. You know, the mentality is the same. You know, the people that have the most discipline, that stick with it, even when it's just a day where they just don't feel like it. Those people are going to be less likely to blame some other person outside of themselves for the lack of success that they are having in one or more areas of their life. And so I think that if you are willing to do the work, there is plenty of success that you can have that other people will not have in their hands. Like, your success will be less in the hands of other people if you are willing to complete your tasks and or do the little bit extra to get just a little bit closer to overall success in your life. And that's one of the things that I'm learning. Those are the people that are most successful in our lives. The people that make the least amount of excuses, and they win that inner argument with themselves to find reasons why they should do the work rather than why they shouldn't, or let someone else do the work. All right. That's enough for me today. I'm going to go back to brooding silently in my car. because I need about 30 minutes before I go right back to work dealing with more people. So I'm going to take the rest of this ride for myself. And I want to thank you guys, as always, for supporting what I'm doing here on this channel. Comments and concerns and opinions can go right there in the comment section down below. Keep working for it, guys. Win that inner argument with yourself, and you'll see that things in life will go your way a little bit more often than not. All right, I'm out.